Beer. Hello everybody, welcome back to me, Brewski, for beer review number 101. And today, the beer I have for you is by Founders Brewing Company. It is their all-day IPA, Session IPA, coming in at 4.7% alcohol by volume and 42 IBUs. So, very easy drinking, and not too hoppy, but just enough to get some of those great flavors. Alright, let's crack it open and see what we got. I will show you the bottle after I pour. I forgot to do that. My apologies. And we're pouring it into my Flying Monkeys huge pint glass. I'm not going to pour all of it because I still want to enjoy some after. I'm going to pour about that much. So, a little bit of a head there. Nice, sort of deeper golden color to it. Very, very clear with some carbonation coming through. Here's what the bottle looks like. Very nice, sort of like a summertime. Looks like the Griswold's sort of station wagon going down a little bit of a dirt path. Very nice looking bright red station wagon with a bright red canoe on top. Alright, let's see what kind of aromas we're getting off this beer. We're getting a little bit of pine, a little bit of grapefruit, very hoppy, a little bit of resinous aromas off it, but realistically not too much. There's not really much going on in the nose of this beer compared to other session IPAs that I have had. This is a little bit more toned down in my opinion. With that said, let's get right to drinking. Now, I gotta say, it's definitely lighter of a session IPA. 4.7% and only 42 IBUs. Nothing crazy, but the flavors are also a bit light as well. It's not bad. It's just that I've had other session IPAs with a bunch more flavor in them. This still has nice, a little bit of florally flavor. Good use of hops. A little piney, not too much grapefruit in the actual flavor, and no real tropical fruits, which some other session IPAs that I have had have had good tropical fruitiness in them. And again, this is a beer from the States. I know they do things a little bit differently down there. I still like my Canadian session IPAs better. Before we take a second sip, cheers everybody. One thing I do have to say about this beer is that it is extremely easy to drink. The hops are there, which is beautiful, but at the same time, it's not super overpowering or just a huge kick in the face of hoppiness that a lot of people who aren't used to craft beers can actually pick this up and enjoy. It's a great starter craft beer in the whole session IPA game of things, because it has good flavor. Just not as much compared to other session IPAs. Before we do finish that whole glass, or at least partial glass, let's see what the bottle has to say. Sorry. On Founders, I realized there are no real descriptions of their beer on the bottle, which is a bit of a bummer. They do list ingredients though, which is water, barley malt, wheat malt, oats, hops, and yeast. Like I said, 42 IBUs, 4.7% alcohol by volume. They do have a clearly labeled best before date, which is 02/03/2018. I forget how they do their dates. That's either February 3rd or March 2nd, depending on how they do their dates. They don't say, but that's alright. Still very good time left on this beer. Moving over to the website now, which is foundersbrewing.com. For all-day IPA, they say, they do have a description which is nice. They say, the beer you've been waiting for. Keep your taste satisfied while keeping your senses sharp. An all-day IPA naturally brewed with a complex array of malts, grains, and hops, balanced for optimal aromatics and a clean finish. The perfect reward for an honest day's work and the ultimate companion to celebrate life's simple pleasures. 'tis a fairly good beer. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just I wish there was a bit more flavor. But to each their own. And they also do list their rate beer rating, which is a 96, so that's pretty darn high. Going down, they do have a little bit of a video about defining the session ale. And they also have latest check-ins via Untapped and recognition. This has won 2014 Australian International Beer Awards gold medal. So very nice to see that as well. They also list of how this beer is served in a draft, 6-pack of bottles like I have here, 6 and 15 pack of cans, and 19.2 ounce cans as well. So very, very nice. More or less that's all they have to say on their website. Let's switch it over to Beer Advocate now, where All Day IPA has been given a 3.87 out of 5, so a very good rating. Looking down for a review, here's somebody, they give it a 3.4 out of 5. They say, aroma, light to clear orange, one finger head with medium lacing. I got a little bit of lacing, actually not too bad there. Quite nice. That's one thing I like about session IPAs and IPAs and pale ales. They do give a good amount of lacing most of the time. Smell, strong piney resin, hops up front, very little citrus. Yes, very little citrus. Taste, mild, earthy, and good pine. See, I'm going to pour a bit more here because I can. It's a very easy beer to drink. I'm getting a bit of pine, but I'm getting more floral notes than anything, and then some hoppiness. But yeah, not really any citrus. Maybe a little touch of lemon in there, like a lemon lime, but not too much citrus. Mouthfeel, kind of flat and would like a little more carbonation, especially up front. I actually think the mouthfeel is quite nice for this style of beer. It's got a good balance, really good flavor, and the carbonation in it doesn't overtake any of that flavor, which I find sometimes some beers do if they over-carbonate the beer. That's sort of how my palate reacts to carbonation. Overall, a middling session, nothing to write home about, but wouldn't turn one down either. That's a fairly reasonable overall rating. It is a good beer. I just wish there was something a bit more about this beer that made it a little unique. It's pretty good. No real complaints. It's a nice beer that I can pick up at the LCBO, 6-pack of them, and enjoy them when I just don't really want to do a review. I've had this beer multiple times before because it does come in a 6-pack up here. But I decided to do a review on it because I think it justifies a review. It's a solid beer. Just, I wish there was a bit more flavor. With all that said, let's sip this last little bit and get right down to ratings. Cheers, everybody. So, ratings for the beer. It's a solid session IPA. There's no offensive flavors, which is amazing. Nice little floral kick, which is a little bit different from what I'm used to in session IPAs. Usually they're a bit more tropical fruitiness, which I actually do enjoy. But overall, really, really nice flavors. Like I said, yeah, the floraliness, the good use of hops, a little bit of pine, and slight bit of lemon lime sort of flavor that at least I get on my palate. Mouthfeel is good, carbonation is perfect, very easy drinking, very crisp and clean. This is a great beer for people coming into craft beer and they're not sure what to get. This would be a good suggestion to them, is the Founders All Day IPA. So it's a great starter beer. So with all that said, I gotta give this beer a solid 7.5 out of 10. Nothing super amazing, I have had better, but this is still a solid beer that if you like session IPAs or IPAs and you still want maybe a bigger 6-pack and not get a bunch of more expensive cans, you can definitely pick up a 6-pack of this and enjoy them on the regular, in my opinion. Yeah, it's solid. Moving over to presentation now. One thing, my gripe with Founders is that there is no description of the beer on the actual label here, which is kind of a bummer, but they do have good the ingredients listed, IBUs, ABVs, best before date clearly labeled. Always they do a very nice logo. I'll show you that once again. Yeah, very, very nice logo. And then moving over to the website, it does have a description, it does have ABV, IBUs, blah, blah, blah. The rate beer rating, a little, tooting their own horn, which is completely fine. How to buy the beer as well, not how to buy, but the selection available of how to get this beer, draft, 6-packs, etc., etc. Very, very nice. The YouTube video link of, talking about the actual beer, also very nice to see. Even the recognition of what kind of awards it's won and the latest check-ins on Untappd is a little bit of an interesting addition to the website. But yeah, very nice looking website. I wish they did have food pairings and maybe the list of hops or malts that were used in this beer as well. Would be an A+ in my books. So, with that said, I gotta give the presentation about a 7 out of 10 for me. So, 7.5 for the beer, 7 for the presentation of the bottle and the website. It's a good beer. Not super amazing, but still nothing wrong with it in my opinion. It is a damn good beer, and I would encourage you all to go buy a 6-pack. Why not? Try something different if you haven't. With that said, before I leave you, I want to let you know if you have any comments, questions, beers you want me to review in the future, you can leave all that information down in the comment box below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. That'll do it for me, Brewski, and like I always say, crack a beer and enjoy. Cheers.